Hanji, welcome back to Talk Punjabi To Me. I'm your host, Amrita, and today we are sat down with Desi Dictionary's Tanvee. Tanvee is actually hitting so many nails on the head with what is going on in the UK and actually all across the world. So there's so many different languages within the South Asian culture, and actually 1 in 5 in London are South Asian. But what happens is within a single generation, you actually end up losing the language that they used to speak back home. And I think what you're doing is amazing, and I won't explain anymore, but thank you for joining, and let's intro you.
Yeah, of course. So a bit about me. So I am born and brought up in the UK. Both my parents grew up in India, moved to the UK when my sister was born. And that's kind of the premise behind the whole idea. So in like 2 sentences, the Desi Dictionary is all about making South Asian languages more accessible in the diaspora, in a nutshell. We've kind of started with kids' books, and now we're aiming to not go away from the kids' market, but expand past just kids' market. And the reason we started with the kids market was because the idea started when my nephew was born, and we were kind of chatting about how he was going to learn our mother tongue, because my brother-in-law is Punjabi, actually. He doesn't speak Punjabi, but he's Punjabi. And our parents taught us by basically constantly speaking it, and that's not really possible when only one parent speaks it.
Right, yeah.
And also, if that one parent, like me and my sister, we can speak it, but we're not like 100% fluent. We're like,
yeah, it's like in and out.
70% fluent, I'd say. She's better than me, so
Yeah.
So like it kind of just feels like you're talking to a wall.
Yeah.
So what I did was I asked her, like, oh, should I make like a first words book, like you have your hundreds and gazillions English first words books?
Yeah.
But just with like the additional line in transliteration, because we can't read and write the script.
Yeah.
Like 90% of diaspora families.
Yeah, I honestly, I can't. My sister can, but I can't.
I can't. My sister can't. None of us can.
Yeah.
And also my parents, they're both Marathi, but they both grew up in Gujarat. So they never formally learnt Marathi either.
Right.
They formally learned Gujarati and Hindi, but they never formally learnt Marathi. So they know it because that's what everyone spoke.
Yeah.
They can read and write it because it's the same as Hindi script, but
Right.
like they also are not like formally
Fluent.
taught. They're fluent, but they're not like some people
Haven't
that
got like
we've met,
a GCSE, like a formal education.
yeah,
in it,
and
kind
some
of thing.
people
Okay.
that we've met like growing up in the UK, like towards like when I was leaving school, a lot of them are like proper Marathis.
Yeah.
And so like some of the things they say, even my parents were like, I don't know what that means. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, cool. So that's how it started then with
Yeah.
your sister and your nephew.
Yeah.
And how did you get it printed in a book or?
Yeah, so I decided to make it for her. For a bit of context, I was basically making like South Asian wedding invites at this time.
Oh,
I've left that
amazing.
behind.
Okay.
Left that behind now.
Okay.
But that's kind of how I started, because I was doing those like creative things. So then that's how it kind of was like, okay, I could do this.
Yeah.
But I just put it together on Canva, like really simply.
Yeah.
Just like I just had an idea of like having like 10 to 12 words per page.
Right.
Basically tried to copy what English first words books had. So like body
Okay,
parts,
okay.
colours, days of the week, animals.
Did you have like
family.
images with it as
Yeah,
well?
images, and then the transliteration and then the English translation below
Oh,
it.
that's so cool.
Because the idea is just like an English first words book, the child isn't going to be reading it, the parent's going to be reading it to them. So
Yeah. And I guess they're learning it at the same time if they're not fluent.
yeah, exactly.
Right?
So that was the whole point as well, like multicultural families where one parent speaks it and one parent doesn't.
Yeah.
Then, I mean, it's never going to be perfect, but at least it gives them some sort of way to be a part of it or learn themselves, or just, do
make it like
together.
fun
Yeah.
for the child as well. Yeah, absolutely. And then how did that transition into
So yeah, I printed it for my nephew. I called it a day, forgot about it, moved on in life. And so I gave it to him around Diwali. I don't know what year, Diwali. And me and my sister, we always go home for Christmas. So a lot of our family friends who were also having grandkids at similar times, a lot of their kids had married like outside of the culture.
Okay.
Like not even just India, but even outside of India, South Asia, whatever.
Yeah.
So a lot of them were like, oh, this would be really helpful and like for us, because they obviously as grandparents want to teach the grandchild, whereas
Yeah.
I mean sometimes the parents might not have as much of like a want, because you don't feel that like change quite yet. But
Yeah.
so they were like, oh, this would be great for us. So I was like, okay, cool,
Yeah.
like, nice. And then I was like, okay.
That's good for you.
I heard it a few more times. Then I was like, okay. I started with doing the Gujarati version as well as the Marathi, because
Right.
although, yes, the whole thing stemmed from Marathi, the Marathi diaspora population is far less than the Gujarati and Punjabi
Right.
diaspora population. Even like now, like, yeah, it's a Marathi's there. And the reason I started is because there was a couple of Gujarati and Punjabi like transliteration things starting to come out when I was looking for a Marathi one for my nephew. And then we were like, there's nothing, it's all in script, so this is useless to us.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, we started with Marathi and Gujarati just on Amazon in like May last year.
Oh, amazing.
And then I wanted to get my own stock because I wanted it to be like board books.
Right.
So that got that in like early September. So although I started in May, I like to say I started in September because, you know,
That's when you officially.
that's when I got my own stock. So yeah, so by September I had it in 4 languages
Amazing.
that I printed my own stock of. So Punjabi, Hindi, Gujarati and Marathi.
Yeah.
And then since then, I've not got my own stock of any of them, but it's through Amazon, like Amazon print it and ship it, so it's available.
Oh, wow.
So even the 4 that I mentioned, my like stock is available in the UK, but it's available globally through Amazon, like America,
Wow.
Canada, Australia, some European countries.
Yeah. Because you obviously the diaspora community is like all over the world, right?
Yeah.
But even
But shipping's a nightmare.
yeah, I can imagine. But even with like adults that can't speak it, they must find it super useful to use as well, right?
So yes, I started with kids books, and so now the first words books are in 9 languages, soon
Wow.
to be 10/11 based on how fast I can get them out.
Are you learning like
No.
these languages?
No. So the first few was done like with community support, because
Okay.
my parents have a large community of Gujaratis, Punjabis, Marathis, Hindi. So we've got those done pretty quickly, easily,
Yeah.
and efficiently, and got like multiple people to help, so it was checked multiple times.
Yeah.
And then did Malayalam, Telugu, Bengali. Again, that was through our community. Like my cousin's wife is Bengali and stuff, so we got them to help. And like they grew up in India, so they're all fluent. Like they all
Yeah.
spoken it for the entirety of their lives.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of, and it started to be like, okay, we don't have anyone who can do these. So
Yeah.
I then got like freelance support off of like your like freelance sites.
Yeah.
So that's how I did like Urdu, Sinhala. I can't remember how I did, but I have Sinhala too. And then Tamil and Sindhi are my next 2 that I have the translations. I've just not put out there quite yet.
Yeah. That is amazing though. I can imagine you've got like a lot of feedback, like positive feedback from this as well.
Yeah, so I started doing like exhibitions after I got my own stock in September. So a lot, like you said, like a lot of it was like adults being like, oh, I would use this too. So I had a lot of adults buy it from themselves.
Yeah.
And I was like, it is a kid's book. Like you can use it, but it is a kid's book primarily. But a lot of them, like, it didn't make a difference to them. Like, it's not like... But because of that, in January, I launched phrase books for all ages. So it's less just words based. It's more like conversational phrases and also words, but still basic. So it's like 28 pages of things like starting conversation, going out shopping, wedding festivities, Diwali. And then, so that started in 4 that's in 4 languages.
Okay.
Hindi, Marathi, Gujarati and Punjabi.
Okay.
And so each one, based on like the region, the festivals pages change. So like Punjabi has Lohri, Marathi has Ganesh Chaturthi, Gujarati has Navratri and so on.
Yeah.
But it has like basically things that I thought as someone growing up abroad or someone living abroad, you would want to know to either speak to your family or visit India. Or so that's kind of the lens I did it in, and basically decided what I wanted each page to be in English, and then got freelance support to help with the translations, and that has an audiobook with it as well.
Oh wow, that's amazing. I think that's obviously really helpful, the way that you're thinking about it, in the sense that like everyone comes together at these events as well, right? So the time that you're going to be, you know, speaking your mother tongue is probably when you're around your community. So that's a super clever way of thinking about and getting them to use it. Because sometimes with conversational stuff, like, I don't know if anyone's done Duolingo, but like sometimes you learn stuff. It's like, okay, I know how to say ice cream, but I don't know how to say I want an ice cream. So you're just shouting ice cream in a different language and hoping someone understands what you want ice cream for.
Yeah, so I tried Duolingo like years and years ago for Hindi.
Yeah.
I mean, I used it like once upon a time for Spanish when I was doing Spanish GCSE.
Yeah.
But I tried it for Hindi, and you have to learn to read and write the script.
Yeah.
So that's the first issue. And then the second is there's no other language other than Hindi. But the third is it doesn't actually teach you the alphabet. It just goes straight into like, this word means this. And I'm like, but you've not taught me what each alphabet letter means. So how do you expect me to now?
Yeah.
So I just didn't understand. So I did like 30 seconds and I was like, no, I can't do this.
Yeah. And even just learning like the way that it's written, right? It's different to like, it's not written in the English alphabet. So even when you're trying to learn it, you're like, okay, what's the equivalent of? And it's like sometimes it isn't the equivalent of.
Yeah.
It's actually a sound.
But that's the issue. Duolingo doesn't even it doesn't teach you like this sound is this. It just expects you to start memorizing and it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, after doing the phrase books and probably before doing the phrase books, I knew I wanted to do an app.
Yeah.
But I didn't know how.
Right.
But I knew I wanted like 2 pathways, one for speaking only and one for those who want to read and write.
Right.
So speaking would just use English transliteration, and then reading and writing will first have your alphabet lessons, and then the rest of the content will be the same. It's just that you have that extra layer of script learning, and you can read it with script, and then in speaking you don't have to look at, like, you basically can just ignore the script and turn it off.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm currently building. I was hoping for a July launch date, but probably looking more like August. So the idea,
tech things can have delays, of course.
So the idea is that it's like Duolingo in the sense, like, you've got your lessons, your quizzes, but the idea is it's more conversational based. So like the first ones will be like basics, greetings, and then the second ones it'll build on that, as opposed to just teaching you the grammar first and then introducing sentences, where it's more doing it from like a sentence phrase perspective, as opposed to like, here's what they, we, us is. Like, it will have that, but in a more phrase based conversational way, as opposed to just teaching you like the bare bones and then hoping you can put together a sentence.
Oh, that's amazing. Is it gonna like test your pronunciation as well, or?
So ideally in the future, not in the first iteration.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Because, that would be great. I did want that, but it's just too nuanced.
Yeah.
So, yeah, hopefully in the future in like a second, third version. But to start with, it will just be lessons, quizzes. You can hear the audio. And then there's like an AI chatbot that you can ask questions to, have a conversation with.
Yeah.
And also like speak to it on a call. So that in turn will help with your pronunciation, but it won't score you or anything like that. It's just like having a live call with a AI chatbot.
Like even on Google, when you type like, how do you pronounce this, and they're like, or something like that.
Yeah, so the idea is like you can use the chatbot to ask, oh, I'm going to X event, how do I say this?
Right.
Or you can just chat to it and like pretend to have a conversation with it.
Yeah.
Just to practice. So you can use it for multiple things. You can even ask it like, oh, tell me a story about, like, oh, my nephew's really naughty, tell me a story about him, and I'll just give you like a 5-line story.
Yeah. I do find though with like AI stuff, especially for this podcast, like trying to get the subtitles, I think I've got so many messages about this as well, and everyone's like, your subtitles are wrong. I'm like, yeah, I know. Like, it's super difficult to kind of sit there and translate word for word, but even getting AI to kind of translate, it's not, it, like you said, I think you mentioned it earlier, like Hindi is probably more accessible than the other languages. Are you finding that like a bit of a hindrance? But I guess at the same time, if you have a community support, is that helping a lot more? Are you drawing on that a lot more?
So the chatbot I'm primarily just using as AI, whereas my lesson content has been checked by freelancers and like language experts and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think hopefully everyone takes the AI with a pinch of salt. Yeah. And it's more there as like a tool to like, where you might feel embarrassed to go speak to your grandma in X language.
Yeah.
It just gives you that like first like pass of like, oh, okay, let me practice a conversation here.
Yeah,
or
no judgment.
if you've not quite got into a certain lesson yet, or you just want to like, you're traveling in India and you just want to be like, oh, I need to know how to say this. How do I say it? It just gives you that place to go in a much more like casual way, as opposed to like not having to speak to someone and ask the question. It just gives you like that kind of support outside of just the lesson content. But yes, there are obviously use cases where it's not 100%, but I think that's with AI in English as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think, yeah,
it makes up stories sometimes.
yeah, AI is always going to make up stuff, and hopefully as we iterate versions, we'll also be able to improve that. But yeah, it's all about how it's being kind of created. And so far in my testing, it's been doing a pretty good job. I mean, I can't say for all languages because I can't speak all languages, but like so far from what I've seen and what I've tested, it's doing okay. And before I launch, I'm going to put it out to like a bunch of beta testers. And so hopefully they'll give me some feedback, which I can improve it on before it's actually launched from the AI perspective. But yeah, I think everyone who uses it has to take it with a tad pinch of salt, just like you take ChatGPT or Claude or whatever.
Well, some people are like basing their life decisions on ChatGPT, so please don't do that here. And so is the app going to be used, like, is that for all ages, or is it just like is it just for adults? Is it just for kids?
So it'll be like 13 plus.
Okay.
So the kind of idea that I have now that I've done all of these products is the first words will be for like 0 to 5. The phrase books will be for like 5 to 13, and then the app will be for 13 plus. Because I don't want to encourage a 6-year-old to use an app. So yeah, the idea is like the books will help younger kids, and the app will be for adults. Not to say that an adult can't use the book and the phrase book and stuff. Yeah. Because it has its own benefits. Like you can take it if you're going traveling. So yeah, each has its perks and pros and cons.
Yeah, of course. So you have like, okay, so it's the first word books. Those are 0 to
5, 6.
Okay.
Or even like, this is what I always say to people when they come, that they always ask me like what age, and I'm like, I'm saying 0 to 5, 0 to 6, but if you decided to start teaching your kid at 6, well then it's still applicable for them at 6.
Yeah, for the learners, I guess.
So like it just depends on, have you started teaching your child? Do they know 0? Do they know? Then if they know enough, then no, go to the next one. But if you've decided to not because of whatever reasons, and you're just teaching them and they're 7, then yeah, you can start with that and then move on. Yeah. So it's very subjective based on like how parents have gone about teaching the second language. Yeah. So yeah, I say 0 to 5 because that's what like I think would be the norm, but there's always going to be cases that are outside of that as well.
Yeah, of course. And while you're going through like the different languages, and are you like learning some of them as well? Have you seen any like similarities or differences between the languages? Or
so I speak Marathi.
Yeah.
I can speak and understand Hindi because of movies, and I can understand Gujarati.
Right.
So I already knew like there's similarities between those three, and then by default kind of Punjabi through movies, there's some similarities.
Yeah.
I can't say I've learned anything new. I might have learned some new things in Marathi and Hindi, but I don't remember anything else I've learned in any of the other languages or read or whatever. But yeah, it's interesting to see like when I'm first putting things together as well, like where there's overlap and where there's not. Now 4 months down the line, I don't think I can say I remember it, but at that moment when I'm like putting together those new languages, it is interesting to see like how different it is, or how there's overlap, or whatever might be the case.
Yeah, because I think there's something like 200 plus languages actually in South Asia, so that's like quite a lot.
Yeah, languages and dialects, and then there's like 22 official languages.
Yeah, so are you going off the like official? Because even in Punjabi, like I didn't know this, but I didn't realize that there's like 4 different regions of Punjab and they all speak different dialects. So like, are you picking one person's dialect? Or?
So I'm sticking with like, what's your standardized Punjabi or your standardized Gujarati? So like, for example, like Gujarati has so many dialects, but I've chosen the one that like in Gujarat, for example, or like in the GCSE Gujarati that you do in the UK.
Right.
That standardized Gujarati that they use. Because if you start doing dialects, oh my God, you'd be there for years.
Yeah, because even like, I remember there was this one time, my brother-in-law, we say, so onions, we say gande at home, and he was like, no, what's that? It's gatte. I was like, gatte, I've never heard of gatte. And then it was like, we had this whole debate about like what word it is, and then I went to my parents were like, yeah, you can kind of say both. And I was like, they were like, we say both. And I was like, I've never heard you say both. Like, I didn't realise that there was so many different little things that's just so different.
Yeah, I think there's lots, and I think to some extent people have to understand that because you're never going to be able to cover it all. Like, and I've tried to do it so it's covering South Asia as opposed to just India.
Yeah.
So like I've done Sinhala, I've done Urdu.
Yeah.
I'm hopefully at some point going to do like Nepali and stuff. The reason it all started was because I couldn't find Marathi out there.
Yeah.
And although Marathi is like a very commonly spoken language in India, it's not a common diaspora language.
Yeah.
Which is why there was nothing out there without script.
Yeah.
So I want to also try and hit those languages that are not going to be out there, because that's why I started it. So trying to also do those
keep
ones.
that niche.
So obviously, like, yes, Gujarati and Punjabi are my bestsellers, obviously, so I'm always going to have them. But also, yes, Gujarati and Punjabi are your bigger diaspora population, so that's always going to be the case. Which is why I've kind of chosen the, like, two-way approach where I have some available on Amazon only and I have stock of some.
Mm-hmm.
And then with the app, I'm starting with the 4 that the phrase books are in. And then again, hopefully it'll keep growing.
Yeah.
Beyond that, starting with these 4, and then as it grows, then you have more support, more funds to like hire people to support with those language translations and development as well.
So is this what you're doing full time? Because it sounds like a full time job.
No, so I work in management consulting full time. So
Oh wow.
That's my 9 to 5:30.
Yeah. 5:30. Heavy on the 5:30.
So yeah, I do this on weekends and after work. My parents do my shipping for me.
Aww.
So I don't have the space in my London flat to stock books. So
Yeah.
my parents do my shipping for me. So that's one thing I don't have to do is go to the post office.
Yeah.
So that's helpful.
Amazing. Yeah.
Very helpful, very time saving.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, like sometimes my parents and like my sister and stuff will help with like events and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just, yeah, I think the fact that they do the shipping really helps because it means, I mean, it still means I have to do a lot, but it means I don't have to worry about going to the post office in my working day.
Yeah.
Whereas my parents work a lot more flexibly because they're at that age where they can work flexibly. So, yeah, it's great.
Do you kind of want this to kind of be like a full-time project eventually, at least?
Hopefully with the app. Before, with just the books, I think it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
But with the app, hopefully, because there isn't any app out there which covers South Asian languages. I mean, as I've been building this, I've seen smaller ones come up as I've been building this.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping, because I've got that book space as well, it helps kind of put the word out there across the UK, America, etc., and across the whole diaspora.
But also covering multiple languages from the offset.
Yeah.
First of all, very difficult. Like, that's like a lot of, you're not just doing, even just doing something in one language is difficult, but doing 4 languages from the offset is super hard. Do you find yourself like researching about random things, or like even things about like events and stuff, like you said about the phrases? Do you find yourself a lot more invested in different cultures? Or
I mean, my whole Instagram, I used to be a chronically online person. I'm an even more chronically online person, but I find I can't escape it because I never know which account I'm on. I'm on my personal or on my business. I have no idea.
This is actually an issue. Like, sometimes I'm liking things and I'm like, wait.
Yeah. No, sometimes I'm really scared I'm going to post off the wrong account.
Post a selfie.
Or like, when I follow people, that's the most annoying. Is like, if I want to follow I'm going to South Korea in September, so I was following like some like, Korea travel things. And I'm like, I'm following this off my business account. I'm following this off my personal account.
Yeah.
So it gets very skewed, but like as a person, like I love Bollywood and all those kind of things, so I see that stuff anyways, but then because of this business page, it just like amplifies what you see like tenfold. So I feel like I'm always just seeing like even when I'm scrolling in like my own personal time, I'm just constantly like, oh, that event could be cool. Oh,
Yeah.
this could be fun. Or like, oh, maybe I should reach out to this person. And I'm like, no, just go
You're
to bed.
constantly working, right? It's
Go to
like,
bed.
I know, but it is, I think when you're doing because this is like a passion project for you, I guess. When you're doing a passion project, it doesn't feel like work. It feels like, actually, I am, even though I'm switched off, like you still feel like, actually, I am still working.
Yeah, I also think it's because it's like so heavily like social media as well, like with marketing,
Yeah.
that I'm also constantly like, oh, could I post this? Or like if I see like another, because I follow a lot of like small businesses based in London now as well. So then I'm like, oh, that's a cool idea. I could do something like that. And then it's just
Yeah.
like, it's like
Constant.
But I'm not a very stressy person, so I try to like, okay, if I think of it, hopefully I'll remember the next day. I'll write it down somewhere. If I don't, I don't. It is what it is.
My
But
notes app is exploding. Like, I actually need to go through and delete so many notes because I do the same. It's like constant, like, thinking of, okay, what's next? What are you going to do? Has any challenges come up while doing this app where you're like, actually, I just don't want to do this anymore? Like, has there been times where you're like, this is a bit much?
There's been times where I'm like, this is a bit much, but I think it's still worth it. So, like, I don't think I've worked on it for like 2 weeks, but because I'm just, well, I know how the time would be. It's just too much.
Yeah.
So like, okay, take a step back and then I'll come back to it. So, like, I was at a really good place and then it kind of went like 10 steps back, which is why I'm probably not going to make my July launch date.
Right.
So there's always things like that, but I think there's things like that, even if you're like, I don't know, selling like a tea or like, there's always going to be things that set you back.
Anything.
So yeah, the goal was to launch it in South Asian Heritage Month because I thought that'd be great, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, things are never perfect, so it's fine if I launch in August or September.
No, it's still amazing. I mean, it's something so unique, and it's going to help so many people. Like, even just in like people who aren't in the South Asian culture, maybe that have married in, even for them, things like this is that you're actually hitting a lot of markets, not just one. Because even for people that are like married in, trying to learn a new language is super tough, right? So you're kind of even helping them.
Yeah, that is one of my target audiences, like people marrying into the culture, and that's where English transliteration is the most helpful because I mean, chances are they don't really. I mean, some do. Like, I've seen like TikToks of like some partners marrying in who are like fully learning to read and write, and I'm like, you're doing better than me.
Yeah, you're better than me.
A lot of them just want to like understand what's happening, like around a dinner table.
Of course.
Like, if you go to India to visit like family, you just understand what's happening.
Yeah.
Without feeling like,
jar.
or like without having everything translated for you, or just being a spectator, not even a listener in the conversation.
Yeah, because sometimes when things are translated, you actually lose the like the way that it was said, or you kind of lose a bit of the touch.
Or it's just that you forget, like.
Yeah.
So my brother-in-law, he doesn't understand Marathi, but he's picked it up more and more things. But initially, I'd have to be like to my parents, guys, just talking Marathi and talking English.
Yeah.
Because you just don't realize, especially if you're like, in that like space where you're just like talking or like telling a story.
Yeah.
And because my parents grew up in India, like their default is speaking in Marathi.
Yeah.
When we were growing up, it shifted towards English, but then as we moved out, I think it shifted back towards Marathi.
Right.
So now more than ever, I feel like they speak Marathi more than they used to as well, like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So like when they speak sometimes, I mean like me and my sister are fine. I mean sometimes if they'll say like weird things, I also am like, what are you talking about? But
never heard you say that before.
Yeah, never heard you say that. No, like a year ago I learned that my parents had a word for trousers, and a year ago I learned that was a fake word. It's not a Marathi word, it's just a word that they made up. And I was like, what do you mean? So I remember saying it to like one of our family friends who's Marathi, and they were like, what's that? And I was like, trousers. And they were like,
that's not how you say that.
And then I was like, what do you mean? So I asked my parents, they were like, yeah, it's not a real word. And I was like, why didn't you ever tell us it wasn't a real word?
Right. And they do that so much. Like my parents they'll say it, and then I'll be like, oh, I went outside and I've said something that they've said, and they're like, why did you say that? And I'm like, because I hear you guys saying it. And then they're like, no, you can't say that outside. And it's like, they should come with some kind of like warning. Yeah.
This wasn't too bad. It was just the word for trousers. So like, it's not the end of the world. But like, I was just like, what do you mean it's made up? Like, what?
Yeah.
Because I asked like so many people after that, they were like, I don't know what that means, and I was like, okay, so this is just a fake word.
Fake word, yeah. But sometimes it can just be like we were talking about, like different dialects. It could just be something that's like
No,
unique to
this is
them.
just a
Oh,
fake.
was it actually
This
made
is when
up?
my sister started saying it, and then they just made it.
Oh.
Vocabulary.
I love that. You should put that in the books as well.
Well, no, so I was gonna do like a clothing page, and then I realized most clothes in Indian languages you just say in English. Like, it's far and few between. It's only like your actual Indian outfits that have a word for them, but then they don't have an English translation, so it was a bit irrelevant.
Yeah, now that you say that, actually, like when I'm thinking about like what's trousers, I mean, we do say like bent.
Well, yeah, but
is that not just pants?
Well, so that's what it is
Like-
in Marathi. It's just pant. So that's why I was like, oh, but I just thought that was just people saying in English, and they were like, no.
Yeah, it sounds like an English
Yeah.
word that they've just said with an Indian accent,
yeah, that is.
right?
Like, it's like how they
bent
say say
pant.
cycle.
Yeah, cycle.
Yeah,
Like
it's
they
just
actually
you
don't
just put on
have.
an accent. So then as I was making that page, I was like, okay, but there's one for trousers, but there's nothing for t-shirt. There's nothing.
Yeah,
My friends were like,
shirt.
no, that's not what trousers means, and I was like, what? And they were like, that's how I learned.
It's made up.
That's how I learned that it was made up.
Okay, so in terms of like the next generation as they're coming up, obviously you can see that, you know, with AI and everything, we are, I think me and you as well, we're so heavily online and so involved with tech. Do you see like your app being the basis of kind of training AI to be better? Like the same thing of like, I can't find a tool to help me, especially when the like conversations that I'm having on the podcast are so heavily in Punjabi. Do you find that like you could probably use your app to like help with like machine learning or like just help the internet know better?
It's a good question. So like as I've been doing this, I found this company who like are basically trying to do that, like with
Amazing.
AI and like having that AI database
Yeah.
for these languages.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's already people trying to do that.
Yeah.
Hopefully it can go into a thing where like hospitals can use it if a patient can't understand
Right.
X
Yeah.
languages. So hopefully there can be use cases like that in the future.
Mm.
Probably not for now,
Yeah.
because right now, although I'm making an app, it is still a small business. It's
Of
not a
course.
startup. It's a small business.
It is
still.
a small business. Yeah.
And so hopefully once this app is out, and then hopefully it starts growing, or I can get investment,
Yeah.
and then hopefully as then it grows and it's not just me, there is possibility for things like this to happen. But for now, primarily it's aimed at as a consumer-based app like Duolingo.
Yeah.
And yeah, then hopefully it can go into schools and hospitals can use it for translations, and
Yeah.
like you're saying, it can be used to generate subtitles for videos. Like hopefully that can be those.
Mine's not as good as an example, but yeah.
Hopefully those use cases can be a thing in the future,
Yeah.
and it can be built up, but probably not for a while.
So what would you say to individuals that are like a bit more conscious about learning the language or feel self-conscious about talking about it?
So there's multiple things. I think there's like lots of ways you can approach it. The whole point of this was you're never going to be 100%. Like at the end of the day, we are people who are growing up abroad.
Mm.
English is our norm, our outside life, our everyday life. Like that's just a fact. Like
Yeah.
how much you want to try and hold on to culture and heritage, the fact is we live in an English speaking country. Like
Yeah.
that is just a fact.
We practice it every day.
So I always had growing up like uncles and aunties be like, oh, you speak it, but you speak it with such a British accent. I'm like, yeah, but I am British.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you're failing to understand is cool, but at least I'm speaking it. And I think that's a big thing with probably lots of people, where it's like A, they're called out for something they say wrong, or B, for their accent, or C, and then that makes them not want to try. So then they're like, oh, but why are you replying in English now? So because you just teased me for like 2 months. I don't know what you want me to do. So I think all those things lead to people feeling like, oh, I don't want to, or I can't, or what's the point, and then you just slowly stop.
Yeah, of course.
So I think the messaging I'm trying to get across is we get that that's what this is all kind of rooted in, is the fact that people get those comments, people make you feel that way. So the whole point is like, if you want to learn 10 words, if you want to learn 1,000 words, fine. If you want to speak in an American accent, if you want to try and put on the correct accent, if you want to speak in a British accent, fine. It's your choice how you want to do it. Like, it's not about, because the thing is, you can shame someone for 10 years of their life. Oh, you're speaking it with a whatever accent, and then they just don't know anything. Or you can let them speak it in a British accent, and at least they know it.
Yeah.
So that you've got those trade-offs, and I think it's just about getting that messaging across. And I think currently with like Scandinavian scarves and chai tea latte, people are trying to like reconnect with their heritage a bit more. So I have seen a lot more, like, even before I started this, like a lot more people being like, oh, I want to learn my mother tongue, or I didn't learn when I was 10 and 15, now I'm 25 and I want to learn.
Yeah.
So I think there is a shift in that sense as well, where people are wanting to learn more in whatever capacity they feel like they can or want to, which is why I think the whole English transliteration is so useful, because it means you don't have to learn a whole new script and have that daunting additional element. You can kind of just jump right into conversation without that barrier.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think you literally hit the nail on the head there, of trying to just like get people to speak it, even if they're speaking it wrong. Like, even with my nephews and nieces, I'm like, please just try and speak it. However you speak it, it's fine. If you want to be corrected, that's fine. Or, you know, but also doing it with a bit of like, don't just call people out for the sake of calling people out. Like, try and encourage it, because at the end of the day, if our generation stops speaking it, the next generation aren't going to know anything. So as much as we can teach the next generation, we should try and keep that alive, for sure.
Hopefully these comments get less and less as you go on. But what people don't understand, especially when they've lived in India, is, yes, okay, we're from the same family, we're from the same background, but we have still grown up in completely different ways. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Just because you think I can speak the language doesn't mean I'm going to speak it perfectly, or just because I should be able to doesn't mean I will or can. Or and by saying this each time I visit, all you're doing is meaning like 6 months, and then when I come back, you're going to be like, oh, but you're not speaking it still.
Yeah.
So you're not helping me. You're just making things worse.
Yeah. I do find that sometimes, though, if you get them to speak English, then you can start doing the same thing back to them. But
no, but yes, but you don't.
We don't.
So
exactly.
If I don't, then why do you?
Yeah. No, that is true. I think even when I'm there, sometimes I'm there and I want to just practice my Punjabi a little bit more. And they're like, no, speak to us in English so we can learn English. And like now it's like that kind of battle where I'm like trying to talk Punjabi and they're trying to talk English at the same time. But yeah, no, I think you've honestly done something really amazing here. And with the Desi Dictionary especially, I think you're going to honestly thrive in this, and I'm really grateful that you came on the podcast to talk about it. Did you want to show the books?
This is the Punjabi first words book. So all the first words books follows the same. They all follow the same format. Like, they all look like this from the outside.
Oh, that is
and they
amazing.
all have the same content, except like a couple of things. Like, obviously some people might not have a word for, like, I don't know, brother-in-law, or like some people might have like a different word for like older brother-in-law versus younger brother-in-law, whereas some languages might not have that. So there's like some things throughout it that are like slightly different.
Yeah.
But on the whole, they're all the same.
Okay.
So this is what they look like from the inside.
Oh, wow. That looks amazing.
So that's like to do. So like I eat, I drink.
Yeah.
And then there's animals. This is the animals. So it all has, it's like how you'd expect like an English first words book but in these languages. So these ones are available in 9 languages. 4 are available in this kind of board book style, which is Hindi, Punjabi, Gujarati and Marathi. And then the others, so there's 5 more currently.
Okay.
Bengali, Sinhala, Telugu, Malayalam and Urdu. So they're available just on Amazon. These are also available on Amazon for like non-UK customers.
Okay.
And this is aimed at like 0 to 5-year-olds, or I don't know, a 7-year-old who's just starting to learn. But basically, it's beginner words, and it's kind of just words with images.
Amazing.
And then this is the also Punjabi phrase book. So this one's more aimed at all ages, like older children, adults reconnecting, adults marrying into the culture,
Yeah.
whatever your reasoning might be. It's aimed at kind of all those things. So this is more like phrase based. So this is like everyday words and greetings.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
So it'll be like starting a conversation, introducing yourself, everyday small talk, like reactions, when you're still learning, like, so things that are more phrase based that you can kind of start speaking and practicing from the get-go, but all in English transliteration still. And there's also things like food, like things you'd say in the kitchen, household responsibilities, shopping, time. There's numbers up to 100.
Oh, wow. Even I don't know how to count. I think I literally thought about it the other day. I think I only know how to count up to like 25.
I can count to like 35, I think.
Oh, that's really good.
With a few errors in the mix. Weather, health, feelings, like compliments, and then festivals and wedding festivities. So Punjabi has Diwali and Lohri. And then it has like smaller versions of festivals, not like full pages of Vaisakhi, Janmashtami, Raksha Bandhan and Holi. But each language has its own festivals. Like some, obviously, like Holi, Diwali will be overlapped. But then Gujarati has like Navratri and things like that.
That's amazing. Honestly, these look insane as well. And this is on Amazon?
Punjabi, Hindi and Gujarati are all available from my site for UK customers.
Okay.
Because they're slightly better quality than my like stock. Okay. Whereas Amazon is printed by Amazon, so it's not as great quality. Mm-hmm. So Marathi is also available on Amazon, and then these are available on Amazon for like non-UK customers as well.
Okay, so better quality, order through Desi Dictionary.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so even with the app, right? So you're going to post updates on your Instagram?
Yes, Instagram, TikTok.
Okay, perfect.
More Instagram.
Okay.
Actually more TikTok now, but yeah, both.
It switches between the two. Yeah, I get it. So Desi Dictionary is that your handle on?
So on TikTok it's the Desi Dictionary, and on Instagram it's the Desi Dictionary with an underscore, because there was already an account called the Desi Dictionary that posts nothing.
Oh, that is so annoying.
So yeah.
Whoever that account is, can you just give it to her, please?
So yeah, on Instagram it's got an extra underscore just because it wasn't available. But yeah.
Fair enough. But we follow them on Talk Punjabi To Me as well. So if you need to but we'll tag you in all the posts as well and make sure that people stay updated. But honestly, guys, it's amazing. You do need to go check these books out, whatever language it is that you want to speak. Even if you want to pick up a new South Asian language, please go check it out. And is there any advice that you would like to give anyone before we leave? It could be anything. It could be even about starting your own business. I mean, it's amazing.
Okay, starting your own business, I have one. One. It's just do it. So one thing people have always said to me from when I started this, it's been like, what month is it? It's June. It's been a year technically, like a year and a month, but technically it's been 9 months.
Yeah.
Is they're like, oh, I'm like a perfectionist. It would have taken me so long to like just put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I kind of just did it and put it out there so like it's good that you kind of just did it and you didn't like stress about every little detail.
Yeah.
Because like even with this app, like I can see myself starting to stress about every little detail more than I did with the books. With the books, I was kind of like, it's a book. Let's put it out there. What's the worst that's going to happen?
Yeah.
Whereas with the app, I do see myself like doing the opposite, where I'm like, oh, but what about this? Or what about this? So I think it's just like, just do it. Put it out there. Your first version is never going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Whatever it might be. Or your first solution is never going to be perfect. So once you consumer feedback or customer feedback is the most valuable. So once you put it out, someone might be like, oh, this is awful. Someone might be like, oh, this is great. And someone will be like, this is great, but do this. So that's your best way to perfect it rather than perfecting it with just your own thoughts and ideas.
Yeah.
In terms of language learning, I mean, I'm not like a poster child for language learning. I only know like 70% of my mother tongue, which is kind of the whole reason this all started.
Yeah.
But I think the main thing is like what we're trying to do with the books and the app is to make it feel less like pressurized. So if you want to download the app to just learn 20 words and you want to have it for a month, do it. If you want to do it for 2 years, do it. Like it's completely up to you how much you want to learn. Obviously we want you to learn it for longer, but the whole idea is it's meant to meet you where you're at. So the one thing with the app, that I haven't mentioned is, you know how like on Duolingo or any other language learning app or even like games, you're forced to do stage 1 before you can do stage 2.
Yeah.
So the idea is it's all open.
Oh, amazing.
So the first few units will be free, and then it'll be paid for like a freemium app. But the idea once you've paid is everything's open. You can do unit 9 before you do unit 1 if you want to.
Right.
Or if you already know everything in unit 1, you can go straight to unit 2. So you're not forced to learn things you already know or forced to learn things you don't want to know.
Yeah.
Or like, let's say you're going for a wedding, you can do that section before you do the other section, so that it's not personalized in the sense it doesn't change based on your strengths and weaknesses, but it's personalized in the sense that you can choose what you learn, when you learn it, and the order you learn it, basically.
Yeah, it meets you where you're at, basically. No, that is amazing. So Tanvee, thank you so much for coming on today. And honestly, guys, please go check out her social media, her books. They look amazing. And I definitely need to get some for my nieces and nephews, maybe even for myself. But thank you so much and really appreciate you coming on. And guys, keep a lookout for the app. It should get released hopefully sometime near this podcast release. So go check it out. If not, go check out the pages and hopefully we'll have more updates and we'll see you soon, hopefully.
Thank you so much.